Hello, everyone. Welcome to the River's Edge. Super excited today. Everyone's excited for this video today. I have Tarot by Janine on the program today and Michelle Fielding. We're going to do predictions. I'm going to be asking 10 different questions that Michelle has channeled over the weekend, and Janine hasn't even heard any of the questions yet, right, Janine?
No, haven't heard any.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much. Everyone's excited to see you guys. Okay, guys, I loaded this is the thing I love about StreamYard. I loaded the questions ahead of time. So, and by the way, guys, those of you listening, if we have time at the end, we'll answer your questions too. Because someone's already asked a question about Matt Gaetz.
Okay.
But if you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started with question number 1.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, and I put it here at the bottom. You guys can see it at the bottom of the screen. First question, when will people know about QFS being live? Who wants to go first? Michelle, do you want to go first?
So what happens is Janine goes first, and then what I channeled, I do second, and we just see how it looks similar.
Right, you've already done it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So say that again. Say the question.
When will people know? When will be public knowledge about QFS being live, the quantum financial system being live?
Okay.
And you should be able to see the question on the screen. Can you see it there at the bottom?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, see it.
Okay.
Okay. So when will it be known to the general public?
Yes. Known and implemented. It should be implemented, Michelle? Is that how you?
Well, sometimes it's difficult to give kind of exact dates, so we'll see how it comes out.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So it's very, very much desired, and it's already been put into action in the past. So the thing exists on some level already. So it's already, so it just needs to be known to the public. I feel like it's already happening in the background. So what you're really asking, because tarots, my cards are saying, well, it already is. So some people are actually seeing the results of it. Okay. So, but we want to know when's the sleepers going to see it, maybe, or non-believers, or people that don't know it exists. When's the whole population going to know?
Right.
Yeah, because it's basically saying it's been going for months, according to this. And we want to know, when do we all know about it? When does everybody know? So we've got 2 10s, surrender, and this card's a surrender, and this is, so there's a facade of a situation going on in the financial world that's a facade. I'm thinking that's the Federal Reserve still pretending it's actually working, which I don't think it is anymore. 210 says something's been absolutely taken out. Surrender, it's been taken out. So, and the thing we want, so this is what's good for humanity, because that's a wish card. So we'd all wish for this. That's the thing that's actually running. It's already happening, okay? But they're being held up. There's hiccups and holdups. This card's temporary setbacks, not a long-standing card. It's just hiccups and things to iron out. So they're getting tripped up, and things are being sabotaged, okay? And it's going to create, so the sabotaging could create a huge event of some kind, because this card's a wake-up call. And maybe even some of the trip-ups and the hold-ups are causing more people to wake up to what's actually going on. It's another way I could read that, because this card's judgment, like wake up. If you look at the card here, there, closely, those are people being woken from the dead. Okay, so there's going to be an event, I think, or situations happen where people really come to what's actually been going on in the background, and not the facade. This card's a facade. How the world appears right now, a lot of it is a big, huge lie. Like almost everything that's going on right now is a complete facade, according to this, right? So these 10s, so I would say imminently, any minute now, in the next few days or weeks, we're going to know. Yeah, I'm going to say that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I totally agree with the fact that it's it's been running for some time, because I looked at this a few weeks ago. But what I was getting was that the hold up with it being known to everybody was that there's this group or circle of, I want to call them hackers, and they are trying to infiltrate the system. So the white hats they have their eye on these hackers, and every time that there's a potential date put out there, they're doing that deliberately to see what these hackers might do, so they can see everything they're doing, and they're watching what they start to do once they think it's going to go live to the public. So I feel like the white hats are ready to go with it for some time, but they're just waiting to see that something drastic doesn't happen like we've had in the past with, the shooting and the towers. And when I asked them again to channel something about this, they said that there won't be a big announcement. Systems are being restructured behind the scenes to create a gentle rollout, and people's taxes will be stopped, and new ways of returning capital back to the masses will be introduced gently, step by step. So I kind of get the feeling that instead of like a big announcement or a big day when it all kind of goes live, that they're actually already doing it.
Yeah.
And they're like feeding it in like gently. Do you feel that, Janine? Like it's,
oh yeah,
they're feeding things in like behind the scenes.
Okay,
So
can I just say, I just did a video on this last night and we put it up this morning. It just went up a few hours ago, and it's all around this. So this must be what Kelly's talking about here. She must be on to the whole energy that's going on. It's obviously in the air and everybody's channeling it right now. And I agree 100% with you, Michelle.
Yeah, I feel like they've been trying to do it for a little while.
Yeah.
And that they've decided, instead of making a big song and dance about it, that it's safer to kind of introduce different things at different levels. So in the UK, for instance, we have something called universal credit.
Yeah.
And in the past, that's been given to people that are on low incomes or unemployed or not well. And I think that system, having already been set up and used a lot more over the lockdown, I think they're going to probably start using that as a system when we go into this Nasara Jasara, like on an more official footing.
Yeah.
I think that's how they're going to get the income to people. And I think I've also been hearing of people having their tax returns just held, like don't send them in yet.
Yeah.
And certain people are having credit cards, like their balances are disappearing. And some...
What? You had
Not mine.
Three credit cards disappeared. They went to zero. And I was just talking about it on my show. Three of them. 3 out of 5 went to zero.
Holy crap. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm waiting for mine. I'm waiting for mine.
I'm gonna hook up on that deal. That's awesome.
But, Pimpy, I think everybody knows Pimpy, who does the financial chats.
Yeah.
I haven't watched him for a little while, but he had a really big student. Yeah, it was a lot, wasn't it? And it was reduced, I think, last year. So I think what they're doing is they're either doing it alphabetically, which would make sense because you're an M and I'm an F, so I should have gone before. Or perhaps they're doing it, I don't know, just in different areas of the world, but in small bits.
Yeah.
Because also if you think of it from a logistic point of view, it would be very difficult overnight just to turn a whole system around and just, to do it in one big swoop.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are in agreement. It's going on behind the scenes right now, and a little bit it's trickling. It's not going to be some ban like on Saturday. There's going to be a big announcement.
Yeah,
it's just
This is why I think we're not getting any dates with this, Janine, because
Yeah.
I don't think they intended to have like a set day. I think if anything, it's already happened.
Yeah, that's what I get. I exactly get that. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question number 2. When will election fraud be known and publicly confirmed in the USA and worldwide?
Oh, good.
We already know it. I mean, when will the sleepers accept it?
That's a good one. Okay, so the death card is what's happening now, which is slowly but surely it's seeping into the awareness of everybody, kind of like 9/11. Like even the squarest people that I talked to about 9/11 are pretty much onto the idea by now that it was an inside job. So the same things happening with been happening. So that's so far what we're getting. It's disappointing because it's actually going a little too slow for most people. Obviously, if most of the US voted for a certain person and then that person is not actually seated, that would be very disappointing. Can you imagine how ripped off you'd feel as a country where a huge population is not being not having their choice in place? That can't be good. That's devastating. So I'm totally that's why I talk about it a lot, because I can feel how bad that would be, right? Okay, so we've got in the past, so that means there was huge manipulation. This card's very manipulative and cloaked, so everything's been cloaked. That's in the past. Oh, this is in the right now, what's going on between the slow sort of people figuring it out slowly and how disappointing that is. And everything speeds up with this card. And this card's May. So May. I think you'll know by May. Yeah, that's my May card. And I asked the cards to be specific if they could about a date. So that's, I usually get May with that card. That's an early, like a Taurian type energy. So sometime April 21st to May 21st, that's the period of May. This card indicates that. And it's things are speeding up. So they were going really slow. They were going really slow and being really disappointing, of course. But this is a speeded up card, and that's what's happening right now. So it brings it up to May. So that's actually really soon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when I did my predictions at the beginning of the year, they said between March and June. So we've obviously gone past March. So I'm hoping it's going to be May now, because that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But what they said when I asked them this time, they said the results of the election in the USA are already known, and that the position of Biden in office is beneficial as it creates a buffer of distraction to wake up the Democrats, whilst allowing the Republicans and others to work diligently behind the scenes. It says it is a moving timeline, but May 2021.
Wow. Brilliant.
But May 2021 in the USA will see the beginning of more disclosure around election fraud and how the country can move forward. It says that Biden does not hold any official position, and that Trump is working with the military and the alliance, and it is a worldwide operation. They also said, which is not exactly relevant to the question, but they did answer it in this question, so I will just say it. They said the next big move that we will see is that the police will also start stepping down to support the people in many countries.
Nice.
That's already started in France.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So May. This is exciting.
It's always had May.
Yeah.
I love doing this with Janine.
This is super fun, Michelle. I agree.
I love it. I love having the two angles.
Thanks for hosting this, Kelly. It's a great idea.
I think we should do a regular thing. If you guys are up for it. I would love it.
Can you see how it works now, Kelly? You know how we do the questions before. Can you see how
Yeah.
it works? Yeah.
I got the flow of it. I
It's
got
really
it down.
good. It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. Okay, number 3, guys. When will it be known that COVID was a plan to bring in a new financial system by the New World Order, but was intercepted by the White Hats?
I love your questions. Okay.
No, I can't take credit for them.
Well, whoever sent it, just the wording is really well done. Okay. Lots
Michelle?
of timeline questions. Everybody's just getting fed up, right?
Yeah. Very fed up, Janine.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, once again, the lockdowns are a part of the movie. I know this sounds ludicrous, especially for people that are really being hammered with them. And like I just heard that in Eastern Canada, it's just horrifying what they've been up to. And I don't live in Eastern Canada, so we're in Western, and we're having a way easier time than the East. So that's interesting. So they're basically saying it's already like all of this is a movie. None of it's real, and the government's putting this forward are doing it so people wake up. It sounds crazy, but that's what I'm getting. It's already like the whole scare thing is fake right now. Everything. That's why it looks so ludicrous. Like nobody's in the hospitals in Eastern Canada, and they're locking everybody down like it just started again for no reason. Like there's no evidence that anything's going on. So they're trying to wake those sleepers up. That can't be anything else. Okay, so we've got, they've made a deal. So this is backdoor deals. They've made a deal with people like politicians that were on the bad side to get them a little less sentencing, etc. So that's why there's like horrific, like there was a guy in Ontario came on and said really cruel, they were going to do these really cruel things. He just came on today. I forget his name. I think it's Doug something or other, but he's like a notorious politician in Ontario who's just literally a scumbag. Okay, but I think he's made a deal with the White Hats to look even worse and be, because he's saying things that doesn't make any sense. They're going to go in homes and force people to get the jab. Okay, so we're in Canada. They're going to do that? Are you kidding me? So we're literally like behaving like a communist country already. Okay, but only some parts of Canada, not the whole of Canada. None of it makes sense. So now, do you guys, I don't know if you saw that show I did recently where I got this huge message from the universe that we're going to get all these signs that are really scary, but none of it will actually come to pass. Okay, that was the sign I got when I was driving from Vancouver to Calgary. The universe told me, pay attention to the drive and what happens on the drive. It's going to tell you what's happening in the future for mankind in the next few months. That's the short version of the vision I had. And then what happened was there's all these huge signs on highways when you go through the mountains between Vancouver and Calgary because you're in really treacherous mountainous areas. Look up Rogers Pass. Look up Golden, BC. It's treacherous. Okay, so you can get spring storms. And I was going through there right at the time of spring storms. The first 3 hours of the trip, I was told, would be the past. It was horrible, treacherous driving. Then it cleared up. And I kept getting the signs on the highways kept saying, horrible driving conditions ahead. Get your chains on. Oh my goodness. So I'd get all braced up. Oh my goodness. It's going to be terrible again because it was so bad the first 3 hours. I barely stay on the highway. And I have a Jeep. Okay. And it got better and better, but the signs were more scary and more scary. And all the way home was perfectly dry, good highway. But the signs scared the living you-know-what out of me. Okay, that's what's happening to the human race. They're scaring us awake. Let me tell you, I was the most awake for 12 hours driving I've ever been. Okay, that's what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to remember, we're going to get the heck scared out of us, and it's all fake.
Yeah.
That's what I get in the cards.
Sports and all of that stuff is never going to come to fruition.
Yeah. So I'm thinking in the next month. we're gonna know this is all fake. It's saying even sometime in April. That's my April card.
Oh, nice. Okay. I like April.
I like April too.
Either way, I mean, April or May, I mean, it's right around the corner, so I'm good with that. Okay.
So I agree with everything that Janine's saying, and I've been trying to express this on different interviews about how everything we're seeing right now is it's just the way they explain it to me right now is that the black hats are psychologically in control, i.e. they're creating the fear, but the white hats are operationally in control. So they sort of divided it into two levels. So we have a psychological level, which is the black hats, which is the fear, which is not real. And then at the operational level, where it all really means something, they're saying that the white hats are actually, they've got it, and they've had it for some time. And so when I keep trying to explain to everybody that everything that's going on is like Janine was saying, it's just to wake up the people that still aren't getting it. Whoa, I get such a lot of attacks for that, you know, but you know, that I agree. It is just for the people that can't see it yet. So surprisingly, when I tried to channel this down today, I got quite a weird response. They said that the people will not necessarily see a link between the new financial system and COVID. The whole storyline will just fizzle out. They said that people will not be prosecuted as they have been playing a role as instructed by the white hats, and you just said that, Janine, to allow people to question government and official narratives. So it's interesting, Janine, that you just brought up that politician, and you said that you feel like he's saying things that are really out of character or really extreme, and it's almost like the white hats are doing it to wake people up. And this is how they've just answered the question.
Yeah, it couldn't be more obvious, like trying to get people to be free thinkers and be like, you have a brain for a reason. Like, stop watching whatever the government tells you. Stop doing what they tell you to do, and use your brain.
It always blows me away, though, when we do this, Janine. How, you know, I mean, I wrote this a week ago. we always seem to kind of link up. It's just it fascinates me. It really does.
Okay, guys, number 4. When will people become aware en masse about child trafficking, adrenochrome, and adult trafficking?
That's going to take longer is what I'm getting, because people are, it's such a scary topic. People tend to close off when it happens, like when they hear about it, they tend to close off, get really scared, put their head in the sand like that. More and more people are coming forward, so you're going to get more and more people feeling brave enough to come forward with their stories. So way more actual stories of survivors or people ongoing in that system are going to come forward, which will be helpful. Absolutely. Right. You're going to get that, but it's going to take people a while. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance around that, where people just can't believe, especially around the A word, you know what I mean? The what I call party drug of the elites, that word. Okay, especially around that, they just can't. That's going to take even more time to wake those sleepers up. So I'm getting, it could be months and months of people coming forward and truthers getting people on their shows. I'm actually in touch with 2 really credible survivors. They've found me and from watching my videos or whatever, and I'm having conversations with them, and we're trying to figure out how to bring their stories out in a safe way for everybody. Like, and these were people whose children and themselves were trafficked for their entire lives. So horrifying stories. And so like, and I'm pretty sure more will come forward even through me. So we don't know exactly how we're going to bring it all out, but more and more people are being contacted that I'm hearing about from people that are survivors of this. So, you know, you got to weed through, you know, some of them may not be credible, but most of them probably are, most likely. Why would they, you know, make that kind of stuff up? So it's coming, but it's going to take time, and they're going to have to hear people's actual stories, and then the whole system's going to have to change, because from all the things I'm hearing, the entire system, like the police, anything to do with child services, it is all against those people. They're all for the perpetrators of the crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to take time. I'm going to say 8 months to a year if you have to have a time on it.
Wow. It's a long time considering how much information's already been faces over and over again, right? The past year, especially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Janine, I mean, just in the UK, it's embedded like everywhere, you know, social services, police, MI6, they're all, the Royals, it's all being covered up. So that's just in the UK. And I've always, when I've felt into this in the past, felt that it would be, that the public would probably not see most of it because of how disgusting it is. So when I asked them again recently for this program, they said, I'm smiling because it always matches up with what Janine says. This storyline is being rolled out on subtle levels constantly because of its serious nature, but it will not be fully disclosed because of the psychological impact it could create worldwide, which would lower the collective vibration or consciousness at a time when we need the consciousness at its peak. They're saying that as we travel as a planet through the fourth dimension, we will meet the devil face to face. And this happens in our personal spiritual journey also. And once we break through this initiation, which we're all going through now as a planet, we then reach the summit, which is the fifth dimension. And then the lower energies can no longer reach us. So as a collective, we are currently fighting this fourth dimension initiation, which is the breaking free of the devil. And it is important to keep the collective consciousness as high as possible to succeed. So what they're saying is that if we were to just sort of unleash all this dialogue around this child trafficking, we're at the point, they're saying we're at the point where we're literally face to face with the devil at the fourth dimension. This is where we meet face to face. So we need every ounce of light and good vibration that we can to break through to get to that fifth dimension. And what they're explaining is that if we then unleash all this child trafficking story, what could happen at this vital moment where we're fighting the devil face to face, we could lose vibration when we need to be going up. So I found that quite interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe never be announced. They just know, I mean, it'd be hard pressed to find someone who's never heard an ounce about it, right? I mean, everyone's by this time has heard about child trafficking, at least a little bit.
No, I'm not sure actually. I think there's still some people that have no idea.
Yeah, the ones who are really, really asleep. Well, I mean, it's as long as it stops, right? I guess it's not important that the whole world know all the details of it, as long as it's
Well, they scoff at it. Like I have a really intelligent and loving and absolutely wonderful sister, but she literally scoffs at and like doesn't even want it. Like she goes, "What?" So everybody's like demonic and they're drinking children's blood. Give me a break, right? And I know she loves me, and she usually respects my views on things, but she literally practically laughed me out of the room when we tried to talk about it. So that's a big problem.
Yeah.
There's a
Wow.
lot of
Yeah. I relate this back to my own personal journey, that when I was in my 20s, I didn't find out till I think it was about 22, that there was a thing called incest. And I actually found it out through a program. I was watching some sort of detective program, and I was horrified. I couldn't believe that this actually went on, that people hurt their own families.
Yep.
And it had to be shown to me on a program on the TV, which is ironic, really. But sometimes people just go through their lives and they haven't had any exposure to things. They haven't had any exposure. And so if they don't see it on a TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Shocking.
ironic. It's ironic that I actually saw that on a TV, and that's how I learned that went on. And I was about 22 or 23, which I think nowadays people would know that a lot younger than that age, but I was quite naive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if it's the same kind of scenario.
Okay, we're going to go to number 5. How can the collective keep their vibration high whilst being, it says being isolated, masked, vaccinated, and controlled? I guess don't share the human trafficking is one way.
Yeah.
I'm getting, don't be afraid to take off your mask when you can possibly get away with it, do it. Take it off, like take back your power. Do you know what I mean? Like depending on the rules in your area, find ways to get around the rules, break the rules without like everybody does that to varying degrees. But even the universe says, don't buy into it. All of that's, you're buying into something. So of course, I don't walk up to stores that insist on a mask, like grocery stores. I don't walk up to them with my mask on, and I put it on as I'm going in if I think I can't get away with not. Depends on the store. Certain stores I've figured out are okay with you not. They don't question, but other ones, certain ones, if you want to get groceries, you usually have to wear a mask. So and the minute I'm done, when I paid for my goods, I take the mask off. They're not going to say anything. I just paid for my goods. So I walk out without it. So I make sure people coming in can see me without a mask. So I got these little tricks because I'm not actually, I might seem like really confrontational sometimes, but I'm not actually. I actually don't like fighting in public. So I'm mortified by it, frankly. Right. So I do what I can. In malls, I never wear it because the security guard's going to track you down in a mall until I go actually into a store if it has those big signs that say you have to wear a mask. And again, I'm gauging the whole time. So I have all of these little tricks. So I'm just playing around, but also remembering it says use your mind over matter. And remember, this is a big movie, and a lot of this is just for the sleepers. So don't take it personally. And even if you do get a ticket for doing something, okay, guess what? Everybody that's been fighting those tickets have been winning. Okay, so according to your comfort level, diss the rules. That's what I get. And certainly don't wear your mask when you don't have to. Like there's people driving around in Calgary in the car all by themselves with a mask.
Or outside walking.
I feel like screaming at them. I can't even fathom. And then outside in the fresh air, of course, don't wear your mask outside. That's absurd. Okay, so things like that, right? Just diss the rules, to the degree that you think you can get away with it or your personality allows.
Okay, thank you.
And remember that it's all fake. Just try to remember that.
Right.
So they answered me in a slightly different way. But again, you'll see it links into what Janine just said. These soft methods are all designed to get the masses aware of what they don't want so that they will eventually fight for their freedoms. This fight is what will help them to break through the fourth dimension initiation. Once at the fifth dimension, people can then, address and acknowledge the children, etc., and they'll have more strength, because whilst they're still and they'll have more strength once they get to the fifth dimension, because they'll be able at that point to maintain that vibration. They're saying that the fight from fourth to fifth dimension is literally a fight face to face with the devil. So they're repeating that again. And so all energy right now has to be on winning through. I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah, so keep your vibration high by standing up for your rights and standing up for your freedom rather than...
Yeah, they called them these are soft methods designed to get the masses to, say no, to realize what they don't want, to stand up for themselves. And
Janine said the same thing, like don't wear them anytime you can, stand up, and like she goes out of the store and doesn't wear one so people see her not wearing one.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm big on raising your vibration, going in nature, spending time in nature, meditating, stop listening to all the news, even alternate media, just do a whole cleanse of all of that. And focus on what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Okay, number 6. Is Elon Musk a white hat or a good hat? And these are different. I don't know if you can answer all these in one, Janine, but what future technologies will he bring? Does his universal basic income refer to Nisara Jasara, or is it a new world order? Is his technology raising the consciousness of Earth?
So that all sounds like we have to figure out if he's a good guy first, because a lot of those questions could be answered by whether he's a good guy or not. So we'll start there. Okay, so he wants to be a good guy. He's been back and forth. He's been badly or programmed in the past somehow. So I think he probably grew up in SRA, maybe family, or somehow somebody got a hold of him and he's been manipulated with MK Ultra or something like that. Because this card's like he's been messed with. Okay, but it's his good intent. His intention is to be on the good side. So he wants to be known as somebody who does good for humanity. That's his intention. So he's been on both sides of the fence, and he's rocked back and forth based on when they are manipulated like that. Sometimes the programming fails and their true personality comes through, and other times they get either brought back in or somehow triggered back. Okay, so he's fighting an internal battle and he's winning so far to be good. So he's a pretty unique person in that way. So he's very powerful when he's doing good, but he could probably be powerfully bad too, depending, because he's got so much leverage in the world somehow, right? And he's in touch with the White Hat Alliance on a regular basis, and they're doing their best to herd him into or utilize his energy to the good. And so far, he's managing to stay on the good side about 70% of the time.
I like hearing that.
70 with that card, 70%. And the Wheel of Fortune, but he does tend to flip back and forth every once in a while, which makes sense because some of the stuff he puts out there, you're like, okay. Most of the time it's been sounding pretty good, but sometimes he kind of does a little weird flip on you. So this kind of makes sense. So what were some of the other questions?
Is this technology raising the consciousness of Earth? And his universal basic income.
So that's a yes on that last one.
Okay, good.
Yes, so that was done in the good and when he was in a good phase. And so that's definitely, if that actually manifests, that's good. Okay, what's the next one?
Does his universal basic income refer to Nisara Jasara or the New World Order?
Okay, that's where he goes bad. That's iffy. Okay, that seems like that's a slip back into the dark side. That sounds like a bit like getting everybody on some universal income. Sounds a bit like sort of a weird version of communism, if you want my opinion.
Mm.
But it is, so no, it's not Jasara Nisara. That part maybe isn't such a great, connected to such good energy.
Okay. Okay, that was it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so is it me? Do you want me to go now? Yeah.
Your turn.
So they said to me that Elon Musk is a man of great intelligence who until recently was unaware that his technologies could be used against humanity by the New World Order. This was never his goal when developing future technological and innovative projects. He worked against the New World Order and chose to support humanity. He now works diligently to support projects for the good of humanity. Elon Musk does not originate from off-planet, but has a very sophisticated technological brain, which is fed directly by source so that he can aid humanity. Musk is a key player in the alliance and does so willingly for the good of humanity. Musk loves children and animals, and he wants the planet to thrive with prosperity, clean air, water, and joy. And Musk supports Nisara Jasara. In terms of other things to do with technology, which I think was in the question, they said that relating to Elon Musk, that our homes will all eventually hook up to the cloud, and that this will provide free energy, free internet, and cost-effective transport, media, and communications. The thing about the basic income, I know what you mean, Janine, because he was talking about vaccines the other day as well. And you sometimes look at him and I think he's doing good things. And then suddenly he'll say something about universal income or vaccines. But when I felt into that a bit deeper, I think it's a bit like your politician, Janine. I think he's sometimes saying things, but he is actually working for the White Hats and the Alliance. Mm-hmm. And I often get him working with Trump, setting up this new platform for TV and media, things like that. I think he's part of that team that's going to bring in the Trump TV or whatever they call it. Okay. So that's quite interesting because that matched up quite a lot together as well, didn't it? What we both said.
Yeah, definitely. Do you guys hear that background noise back there? There's something, I don't know what that noise is in the back. Can you guys hear it as well? Well, now I can't hear it. There it is. You didn't hear it? Okay.
I can't hear it.
There's something like someone's moving stuff around. I don't know what it is. Okay.
Maybe I'm plunking my cards. Is it this?
Yes, it's that.
Oh, it's the card.
Sorry.
Have you got a bangle on?
Oh, yeah, I do. I got two.
Yeah, it's the bangle. It's the bangle on the desk.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay. All right, mystery solved. Okay, we'll go to number 7. How will the Earth look going forward in terms of technological advances on our home, work, farming, healing, communication, and transportation? Do you want me to read it again?
Okay. No, I got it. But I'm just going to say with tarot, at least the way I read, that's a whole bunch of questions. That's not just one question, right? Because every one of those could be a rabbit hole. So that's a huge thing to tackle. There's probably a way we could say that unless the person literally wants 5 questions, like that's
Michelle,
I'm super specific, and
Can
that's
we just
way
say
too much.
just the first? What about just the first bit? How
Yeah.
will the Earth look going forward in terms of technological advances?
Yeah.
Technological advances.
Because our homes could be totally different than work, farming, and
we'll just leave all that. Okay, we'll leave all that off then.
Okay.
Just
so we'll kind of go generally at going forward technologically.
Yeah.
How's our life is it gonna improve, and how will that look? Maybe let's ask it like that.
Yeah, it's very important how you ask the questions when you're channeling as well. Yeah. Otherwise, it can quickly get muddled.
Yeah. Well, that's like an hour reading that question.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so we've got the High Priestess and the 4, the Chariot, and so, okay, the first thing it wants to say is technology is way, way, way more advanced than we know about. So humans are way far ahead than what they've told us about it. So a bunch of secrets still have to come out where we're actually at compared to what us regular folks get to know about. We're like not even close to utilizing the health knowledge that there's available. That's been repressed. The knowledge of everybody could have free internet tomorrow if they just let it loose. That's been around probably for years. Like we're completely been kept in the dark. And if anyone ever, I get this is like, this feels like it was channeled to me. Don't feel bad or overly grateful when your life really improves, because you've been ripped off since your birth. You have been pillaged. Every part of your human existence has been repressed by higher uppers. They're utilizing all of these things that should be available to us and is our birthright as a human, beautiful being soul. And it is not it's been at their mercy what they let us in on. And we are literally in the dark ages. I'm getting this channeled, and my energy feels really mad at them. But I'm not literally thinking this. This is just coming out of my mouth, because it's like the soul energy is disgusted with this. Yeah. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so we've been completely deluded. Everything in our whole life could be really simple and beautiful and loving, and the goddess is abundant. I mean, when you hear that the earth plane is abundant and there's enough for everybody, and by the way, there's enough room. The earth has so much room unutilized, and we're all squished in these cities and places, and we like to be close, some of us, and that's okay, right, if you choose that. But we're literally being squished into, they're trying to encourage everybody and telling us there's no room on earth anymore. That's a complete lie. There's huge vasts of resources, and they're all being funneled, or have been in the past, to a few families on the earth plane. This is where, and some off-worlders, creeps. So it's like, no, I don't know. I think I lost track of the question, but so much could be brought forward, and it's going to take a couple of years, it looks like. And we have this guy to thank for a lot of this. So I never started out, just so you know, Kelly, maybe you don't know this about me. I think Michelle knows. I didn't start out being a Trump fan. This is my Trump card, but he worked diligently as a front to an organization that was working diligently way before even Trump came on the scene. But there's been this group that have worked diligently for the good of humanity, and we're going to have to thank them. Okay. But like, it is, all they're trying to do is bring forward what's been available to us all along and as our birthright. So I don't know, a couple of years, it looks like.
Like the med beds would be an example that would be available this year, right?
our whole life could be better. I was getting more towards the end of this year on that because they're going to be utilized by needy people coming out of DUMBs. And also it's going to take time to create as many as we're going to need because they're going to need to build them, I think.
Yeah.
But the technology and know how to do that is all available.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so slowly we'll get more technological advances coming to us, whereas we haven't had any up to this point, basically.
Absolutely. It's going to turn our whole life around, and we're going to be dumbfounded at how we've been kept literally in the dark ages.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Michelle.
So they came at me with a completely different angle. They said that houses will be able to communicate with each other technologically so that elderly relatives will still be able to maintain their independence, as the system within the home will detect when there is a fall, a heart attack, or a seizure, for example. The Tesla frequencies within the homes will be used to create an ambient healing frequency at all times. So they're suggesting that the homes will have Tesla built into them.
Wow.
They're saying
cool.
that they're saying that deterioration of the body due to old age will no longer exist, and a soul will pass due to its soul contract and not through an illness or old age.
Wow.
I know. We've been saying this all along. We know that's what's going to happen. It's just like, when are we going to get to the point where disease is a thing of the past and the soul makes it away from me? I'm leaving now because I want to leave, not because my body's sick and dying. I love it. I love this stuff. Are you done with that? Or did I interrupt you, Michelle?
No, that was, they didn't give me very much for that, but I it's because they've given me other things in the past about technology, but this was a new one for me about the house with the it feels like the Tesla's going to be in the walls, and it's going to be, and then it feels like the houses are going to be all interconnected somehow. So if your neighbor, for instance, was to suddenly have a seizure, you might just be alerted as their neighbor or something like that. It would, I mean, it's incredible, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's exciting.
That sounds like hive mind, telepathic, maybe.
Yeah.
Like where, because we've raised consciousness, we're more consciously, intuitively aware of. Because I can feel when somebody's thinking they're going to call me, and then sure enough, they call me. And that's been going on my whole life. I can feel when there's a problem with a member of my family. I already can feel that. All of a sudden, I'll get this urge to phone them, and I try not to ever talk myself out of those urges, no matter how weird it is. It's like, okay, I'm going to just call them and see how things are going. Because, and then sure enough, there's some big thing going on.
Yeah.
I think everybody might start, that sounds like everybody gets more intuitive, and
yeah, for sure.
We sort of intertangle with the energy of physical life with our intuitive knowing, and it all gets sort of, I don't know, more transparent somehow.
Yeah. Sounds amazing.
Wow.
All right, ladies, we have 3 more questions. So just so you guys watching know, Michelle created these 10 questions, and then she channeled it, and then we're going to see what answers Janine came up with, which is super fun. But I know you guys are asking questions in the chat, and if we had time at the end, I was going to answer some of your questions. But we have 3 more questions, though, from the original. Okay. What are the galactics doing at this time to help raise the frequency of Earth? Is it working, and what do they have planned for us?
So the first thing I get is there are galactics, because that question didn't leave room for, are there galactics doing that on our behalf? I think that would be an important thing for some people listening, because they might not know about that. So there are galactics working on our behalf, other worlders, to the benefit of humanity. This card's a really beneficial card. It's about victory. So helping us go to victory or come out victorious in this spiritual war that's going on. They've been working on our behalf for a really long time. So this is like slowly but surely, because the death card's like continual progression towards a situation that's already been this whole war was already designed to come out us the winners, by the way. That's a weird thing, but that's what I always get. It's already like in the loop of time that's going on. It's already known that humans are victorious. If you follow, and I'm not even at all religious, organized religion was all hijacked. And but the book of Revelations has some truth to it left in it. It's been, pillaged, of course, by the dark side and rewritten somewhat, but it has some truths to it. It's already pre-written that the bad guys are going to lose. Okay, so with a lot of help from other worldlies. Okay, let me just read that question. Raise the frequency on Earth. What are they doing? So they've been doing. Okay, they're group intending and visualizing the outcome. So they're not doing anything per se. This card's literally, they're manifesting it by believing it's possible and seeing us already at the other end of things, which I've been talking about for some reason, my whole life. I knew that that's how you get things done. You have to already believe it's happened. Talk as if it already is. So they already know, and in their knowing, they call it. She calls to her by knowing something. She's not doing anything. They're literally not. They're just allowing it and visualizing it as a group mind together that it's possible. So they're creating it as a possibility, like how all energy works. And they've agreed to work with, so the good guys. So there's an agreement between the good guys and them. So there are the human good guys. So I'm thinking the Alliance and the White Hats, and where they're needed and their energy focus is needed, they put their focus over in the areas that those guys need them. So they touch base with and are in contact with the good guys. And we know that Trump and the White Hats, as I call them, had a big supposed meeting in Antarctica. I wonder if that had something to do with it, but because that's a big vortex where they come and go freely, apparently.
Because they can't. Go ahead.
They, from a distance, they send energy too. But they're safely in a distance. See that card? Safely somewhere, but looking at our world. See how that guy's looking at the world? And putting their intention and vision towards an outcome. So they're mostly doing it, not literally like down on the earth fighting, but they're putting their energy where the good guys say it's most needed and adding to a collective intention is kind of what I'm getting.
Okay.
So I just have one question on that. My understanding is that we all have free will, right? So whatever direction we're going in is dependent on the people themselves. And we can ask for help from the galactic, but they don't have the ability to come down here and just change everything because we have free will.
Yeah.
So we can ask them for help and they can help us guide. They can guide us.
Yeah.
And it looks like the White Hats / Good Alliance, or I don't know what to call them, but those people working on our behalf in the background, they've asked for help because the Two of Cups makes an agreement with somebody, shakes hands over something. So they've had a sit down with them, whatever that means,
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Okay, so they had quite a lot to say about, we had a little chat, me and the Galactics, about this. So what they said to me was the Galactics are around Earth holding the energetic grid steady so that the new Earth can be put into place successfully. The Galactics plan to allow us to continue in our own way so long as we continue to make progress vibrationally towards the golden age, which is the age of love. And they said that 2032 is currently on track, which is the golden age. They form an alliance of intelligence, which is designed to help lift the consciousness of humanity, and they cannot intervene because it is against divine law. So they work under God's instruction. So then I said, I feel like the galactics were extremely busy and close in 2020, but have now pulled back. And I said to them, so even though they are still visible above me, they have pulled back their energetic downloads. Is this correct? And they said yes and no. They said the Galactic Federation of Light have been upgrading the energetic grids all over planet Earth, but are currently assessing how humanity is doing with regards to waking up before deciding on the next level of input. So I asked them, input, and they said yes. The input from the galactics is only necessary to bolster or enhance or ignite a rise in collective consciousness. So then I said, has this happened in 2020? And they said yes. The Galactic Federation of Light needed to boost the frequency of Earth so that it could move forward in its evolutionary trajectory towards the Golden Age, the Age of Love. So I said, why do humanity need this assistance from the Galactic Federation of Light? And they said, they don't necessarily need it, but we offer it to help humanity through this difficult time in their planetary evolution and collective awakening. If we didn't intervene or assist, then the process would be much slower. So then I said to them, what is it that you do exactly, and what is the energetic grid? They said the energetic grid is a matrix of light coding which helps to direct and pulse energy towards humanity. They said that at certain planetary alignments, we are able to harness the energy in such a way that it is received more abundantly, as in December 2020, when we had that, we had that solar flash. They said the energies pulse the earth and all sentient beings receive the pure encoded light frequencies, which will wake up their dormant DNA in their cells. This activates latent skills, memories, and creates healing and awakening. People awaken because as their DNA is activated, they are able to perceive beyond the matrix of programming, the matrix within which they have been enslaved for thousands of years by the Dark Ones. So then I asked, what are the Dark Ones? The Dark Ones are those beings that have no connection to God at a soul level and only have an intention to serve their own desires by enslaving humanity in a matrix of fear and low vibration. The Galactic Federation of Light have been able to activate the grids so that the energy activates the consciousness of humanity enough so that the Dark Ones can no longer enslave them. Once people see beyond the matrix and the programming of fear, they are free and can no longer be controlled. They activate within their reality a reality of nirvana or heaven as they free themselves from the enslavement of fear. So they got quite chatty then, didn't they, Kelly?
I know.
We got a little bit chatty on that question.
Yeah.
But I know we don't have that much time. We have 2 more questions. Janine, do you have anything to comment on that?
Okay, so it sounds like Michelle got chatty because you kept encouraging them. We just answered about 10 things there.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's cool. No, that sounds
Okay.
fascinating. I have to digest all of that, but yeah.
I know. That was a lot. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's number 9. Is the quantum system really a computer? Is the quantum, or is it collective consciousness?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, it's literal. This is a very literal card. Pentacles in tarot mean literal. So if it was just a collective, we would have swords. Okay, so and 6, so and it really is real, and it's really, really powerful, and because this is like it's a victory. So it's done a lot of good in our current system. And then we have another pentacle card. It's improved over time because it went from a queen to a king. And not that females are less than males, it's just the way it's an old-fashioned system, the way tarot is laid out. So that in no way makes women less than men, not according to me, that's for sure. Okay, so, and then the 10. So I think a lot of what it was used for has already been put out there. So I'm wondering if it maybe is taken a back seat now to what's going on. I don't know why that 10 would come up otherwise. And then it's created, because of its usefulness, it's created a lot of deals on the backside with even the bad guys. So the good guys stop messing with all of their wealth and power. Like they're trying to not be as devastated as they otherwise are. And it's all because of that tool. So it's a physical thing, and it looks like it's really useful, according to what I get.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I got the quantum system is a system run by technology, but guided by the hand of God for the good of humanity. The quantum system is guided by the input of the developers from other planets, and they put, for example, Earth, which was interesting because I was expecting them to say, but they're saying it's ultimately overseen and monitored by God. God measures the collective consciousness, not the quantum system. However, the collective consciousness levels are indicative as to when humanity is ready to have the system turned on. This might seem a little bit confusing, I don't know. The quantum system is a technological system which is part of Earth's evolution, and in that sense, it becomes part of the collective consciousness. When it is allowed to be switched on, is dictated by the consciousness of humanity in order for them to manage the vast system, and whether it can be managed for good or bad is dependent on the consciousness of the operators.
That makes sense. Okay. We're going to move on to number 10. Why has everything seemingly gone quiet around President Trump and the plan?
So many people ask that, and on Tarot by Janine, I've looked at it lots of times. And what I've gotten in the past was that whenever I look into them, so I call it looking into what Mr. T and the White Hats are up to, I always get they're up to all kinds of stuff, and they've never gone quiet. They're quiet to us, but they're so busy on the background. And let's see if that's still continuing here. Let's have a look. So this is always my deep state dark cult, and I don't know what kind of words you can and can't say, but that C word and that illume word, okay, is what I mean by dark cult. Okay, illume, and you can add the rest to that, and the C word. Yeah, so that's what I mean by that. Okay, so that they've been fighting that even more so than, so the deep state's just the government arm of that, but it's actually all stems from a deeply depraved, like cultish bunch, right? So that bunch we were just talking about. So a certain amount of families, they've been fighting them, and they're still doing that in the background. So they're not gone quiet. They're preparing for tribunals and justice to be served to a whole bunch of people. That's their intention. So outcome, and they will be all in the public eye again, because this is a big public event of some kind, where people are probably out on the streets celebrating something to do with this bunch. So that's soon, actually. That could be that could be days or weeks. Let's hope it's days. Let's hope it's hours. Yeah, so it's necessary. We need patience. So this is patience. And this card's, notice how, so this is the Hanged Man. So it feels like we're all hung up waiting, right? But there's a halo around his head. People don't like the look of the Hanged Man in tarot, but I'm going to tell you, it's a really good card. This guy is in a yoga position, and he becomes enlightened through whatever activity caused him to hang himself up like that. So he chose to be in the background because it's for our own, something good's going to come out of it, basically, is what that said. And then this card says, just wait, because it's so close to being there. This is like exactly when it's time, because this guy waits for the harvest. So there's going to be a harvest, and they come out, and it's to our advantage, both financially, as a human race, celebration in the streets kind of thing.
Wow. So tribunals just around the corner, Senor Trump returning upon the scene. And
I feel like they're preparing the justice to be served. So they're working on figuring out who's going to get what, and they could even be doing some of it that we don't know about. We might see it all. I'm thinking unfold by the fall. All of that starts getting publicly known. What happened to certain people already, and then maybe ongoing trials and things like that. That's what I've been getting in other readings, and that feels like what that's saying again.
what happens in the fall? Sorry.
The tribunals, where now we get some videos of what's already happened, because we know some of people have already been processed, but I feel like ongoing processing. So it looks like all of that's in the background going on. A whole bunch of stuff's going on we don't know about that's going to all come out.
Do you think there will be an EBS, emergency broadcasting system? People say that I've been hearing that that you would see the tribunals on the EBS, but I don't know if that's true or not.
It looks like it's in the works, something like that, because both these cards, so this cards can be badly aspected, where they might have stepped away from that idea, but I get that's still in the works. So that's something they're waiting for the right time for. So that feels like a moving target, depending on other things. So okay. I'm thinking yes, those two together could be a yes. It doesn't look like a no, that's for sure. It looks like that's still something that's a moving target thing.
So the thing you said happening in May was the return of Trump, right? But and some celebration of justice being served in May, yeah. And then in the fall, tribunals. Yeah.
So the knowing that Trump actually won that situation in November. So the knowing, and then and also maybe the awareness that he's actually been there all along in the background, in control, because that's always what I get. And the B guy is literally a facade.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I think so. It's not like a return. It's more like the awareness.
Okay. So no big announcement coming because people was like, wait for the announcement and EBS coming and emergency broadcasting where the world's going to know certain truths will be revealed that will shock the world.
Well, I'd love that. And I looked at that so many times. That feels like it's a work in progress. Word will get out more specifically for sure. They're still deciding exactly how much of a take over the airways thing they need. I think that's still a thing that could happen. I wouldn't say it wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle.
Okay, so they said that the plan of God is all that is manifesting at this time. So I said, so what is Trump's role in the plan? And they said Trump and his team, which are military world leaders and God, are all working towards world peace for humanity. So I said, how is the plan going? And they said that this plan of peace for humanity is going ahead of schedule. And I said, could they explain? They said the plan for worldwide peace is based on collective light and vibration, and that this has been exceeded at this time. So I said, exceeded. And they said, yes, the amount of peace being admitted from humanity currently is palpable. So I said, how do you measure this? And they said, we measure this through the vibrations and sonics. And I said, how do these vibrations and sonics currently look? And they said, currently the vibrations and sonics are creating a tapestry, a wave of peace throughout the land. So I said, how is this affecting or manifesting upon the humans? And they said the humans are starting to hear their divine calling, and they are starting to wake up. And I said, how does this look on the ground? And they said, this looks like anger, action, peace, and awakening. So I said, so what is the next step for humanity? Is Trump going to come back to lead? And they said, no, Trump is not coming back to lead. So then I had a little palpitation and I said, please explain. They said President Trump was only the catalyst for change and will not be the person who leads the world forward right now. So I said, who will lead the world forward right now? And they said, this is dependent upon the collective will. So I said, please explain. They said the people have free will and they must decide as a collective what they want their world to look like. They cannot rely solely on one man, one being, or one party. So I said, how will this look going forward? They said that going forward, it will look initially like a fractured society as people gather their thoughts and feelings and assess what they will and won't accept going forward. There may be a sense of loss, grieving, and disarray at this stage of the mass awakening, and it may seem emotionally chaotic. However, the chaos is actually just the rearranging of ideas, thoughts, and energies that no longer serve us as humans or as a collective. So I said, can you please explain? They said the old paradigms, structures, philosophies, and models of leadership are crumbling, and people will feel in disarray initially as their direction shifts from being governed to then taking responsibility for their own individual sovereignty. So I said, how is this going to look in political terms going forward in the USA? They said in the USA, the current imposter will be removed and the people will be given another opportunity to choose how they want their lives to look going forward. And I said, how they want their lives to look? And they said, yes. They will need to decide as communities what they need in terms of resources, and then they will need to take responsibility at grassroots levels to initiate changes, policies, and community programs that are tailored to help and sustain peace on the land. So I said, what will this look like in real terms going forward from a world perspective? They said the world is going through a sense of abandonment at this time, as many structures, both political and social, have all started to leave them wanting, wondering, and questioning. And they said this is good, as the process creates a deep delve within themselves to ask the deeper questions about life, like, why am I here? And what is life all about? And is there a God? And what is my purpose? And these questions of angst and of longing and of desperation are called the awakening. There will be no guidance immediately from the government, from the plan, because this sense of abandonment serves a purpose. This sense of abandonment helps the people to deep delve and to assess their inner world and to look at their part in the bigger plan. And this is called awakening. Awakening is an internal process of understanding, adjustment, releasing, and healing. Awakening cannot be achieved by any means other than to go within. The world plan at this time is helping people to soul search all their structures, all those aspects of life that were familiar. They have now been stripped back. And now a questioning begins, a searching and a quest for ultimate truth. The truth of why am I here? And herein lies the beginning of the quest for more meaning, for more connection, and for more healing on a deep level. This is the awakening. Awakening is a process of internal change prompted by a seeming disconnection from everything that a person previously understood to be true. One man is not coming to save you. One woman is not coming to save you. You are saving yourself. The strength and answers are always felt within. All answers, all truths, all meaning is found by going within, by becoming peaceful, and by experiencing an existential crisis. The existential crisis of what is life all about? Why am I here? What is God? Where is God? This is the awakening.
All right. Wow. I know. I'm like, that was a lot. I like it though. We what you said about the awakening, and we got to go. Oh, what you said is no one's going to come save us. Like Trump isn't our savior. We have to save ourselves. We have to awaken and go within. That's the only way forward.
I think what they're trying to say is that the plan is not around whether a man is going to come back into power. Yeah. That's just like superfluous to what's going on. Yeah. I think what they're trying to explain is that the whole plan, the whole process that we're going through is to get people to go within whilst they're feeling, disconnected from everything and in a state of disarray. What it's doing is it's making them have to search within, because true awakening happens from the inside. It doesn't come from disclosure on the TV. Yeah. It doesn't come from seeing images of children. It doesn't come from, a man in an election result. True awakening for the whole of humanity has to come from each person going within.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like the plan, it looks like it's gone quiet, but what it's trying to do is it's trying to get people during their time of crisis to go inside.
Yeah.
So they don't rely on anything external anymore.
Right. Exactly. And so many people say Trump needs to save us. We need Trump back. It's like, it's not about that. It's the whole time. It's about going within and realizing your own power and sovereignty.
And what they're saying is that he's been the catalyst to get it all started.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of movement, wasn't there? We have 4 years of change and movement and a lot of things going on. And then suddenly it's like we've gone into the dark, because now we've been led a certain length of, along the road. And now they're saying, now you've got to have the faith to walk the final bit yourself.
Yeah. And think for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I got some super practical guides. My guides are like, Trump. Okay, it's almost like we're getting a whole different sort of I've always been super practical in the way I read, and really earth plane. Okay, so what's the cut and dry of this? And you're like literally, Michelle, literally the opposite. So I do, like, it's not like anybody's right or wrong there. It's like you got a whole bunch of depth and sort of the spiritual aspect. And I'm like, literally, you could literally come to me and go, do I need a plumber for this certain situation or not? And I get yes or no, or it's just going to go away, or
it's quite funny. If I asked the same question, Janine, I would get a spiritual teacher come through to explain the whole spiritual concept of why I needed a plumber.
And I'm like,
no.
Or
no, you guys are good together. That's why it's perfect.
Yes. So my teachers are either they hardly give me anything, like they just give me a sentence, and then other times they just go into like a whole teaching.
Yeah.
You guys want to do this again sometime? This would be fun.
Yeah.
Really maybe 10 questions is a bit much, though, I got to tell you.
Yeah. It was quite long, wasn't it?
Well, how many do you guys normally do? You guys normally do this. This is not your first rodeo, right? You've been doing this?
Yeah, but 10 questions, and those were like 8 questions packed into one. I'm just saying. Right?
Right.
It's like, that's a lot of psychic work we just did. I'm just saying.
I know she spent hours downloading all this information or channeling.
It's like, and I'm put on the spot coming up with this, so I got a whole different shtick.
I know.
So I'm just saying, I hope everybody's appreciating. We're sweating here, people.
I know. It is a lot of work. So thank you guys for doing all that.
I tried to actually explain to Kelly the other day that when we come on to these shows and it looks like we just roll out, a few lines, that's taken, we have to work out what the questions are, what's going on with what people, what they want to know. We have to meditate. We have to connect. We have to channel it. And sometimes it doesn't all come down like just that minute. You have to do this over a period of time. And then obviously we need to come onto the show. And so I don't think people realize how much goes into it, Janine.
Yeah. Well, I don't do all of those things. I actually like being put on the spot, but for very direct questions that don't have 5 alleys to go down. You know what I'm saying?
You can blame Michelle for that.
Which is it's awesome and everything, but that's a lot of, because I could have picked any one of those areas of one question. I mean, it's pretty, but it's still really fun. This is like we're like literally. I gotta brag. I think we're pros here because we could actually pull off what just happened here.
Yeah, I love it.
We're doing great.
Yeah, we'll do it again. I'll be in touch with both of you guys, and we'll figure something out.
Right on.
Thank you everyone for watching too, and please hit subscribe and like and go to their channels. I have your YouTube channels in the description of this video. Tarot by Janine and Michelle Fielding. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Bye everybody. Bye.
Yeah.